Hello, my friend. Welcome to Serenity TV. Have you missed me? I have missed you right back. But then again, why have you not subscribed to our channel? Why have you not subscribed? Why are you, I want to say in it. So let me put it in the sentence. You don't want to subscribe to our channel, in it. Please go ahead and subscribe to our channel and make sure you follow us on our social media platform. My name is Faith Martins and you are welcome to Serenity TV. Today, in the month of Valentine, which is February, we're going to be discussing something really interesting, something really fantastic, something that you're going to learn from as a single Pringle. If you're in a relationship, you definitely would want to learn from this. Lots of experiences are going to be recounted here on the show, and I have just the perfect guest for our topic today. Our guest is no other person than a renowned journalist, somebody whose presence is felt here in Imo State. If you should say, where are the journalists? She will come out. Oh my God, that was so funny. Please join me as I welcome Mrs. Did you hear that? MRS? Mrs. Angela Nkwo. Why are you laughing? Oh my God, camera zoom in.
And then you are dodging to call the
I don't know. I'm standing on one leg. Should I call it?
Yes, please.
Mrs. Angela Nkwo Apoti.
Apolu.
What does that mean?
I'm told it means the world is deep.
The world is
Ijaw
deep.
Name, yes.
Nkwo is an Igbo name.
Yes, I'm from Imo State.
And you married an Ijaw man.
What love cannot do does not exist.
I love it for you. So we don't get to, maybe we do see, but we usually don't hear about intertribal marriage. We don't see lots of it. We have lots of people who tell you have to marry from Igbo. Igalo ni Igbo. If you don't marry an Igbo person, then that's it. How did that work out for your parents? Let's start with that. Did they have any
First,
objection?
let me say, thanks for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. So, I met my husband in Owerri.
Okay.
I recollect he told me clearly that he's an Ijaw man.
Okay.
And then I told him I'm from Kogi. I don't know. I just had this, at this age, I was still doing this posting thing.
Oh.
I probably, somebody walked past and said, Guy Kekwan, and he responded. So when he said he's from Bayelsa, I just took it to mean, are we still doing this posting thing? So I said, okay, I'm from Kogi, since we're chasing clouds. But yes, in terms of dating and stepping out of my own tribe, I think at this point, I have come to the realization that, yes, I'm an Igbo girl, but having grown up in Lagos, I think I wouldn't have fit in marrying an Igbo man. If I was going to marry an Igbo man, he also must have grown up outside Igbo land. I can't explain it, but the orientation is different. Growing up, I know around here, I have friends and, we have all this, I'm talking, they are talking. I haven't experienced it in my own home because it's not an issue where they come from. They are, I think they are particular about their girls. So it's a very balanced society. And of course, he also wasn't born in Nigeria, so he played the major role. So I did try dating Igbo guys, but
it did not work.
It didn't work. I was always having issues, most likely on the mentality. It was always around, wanting to stamp authority when there is really no need. There was absolutely no need. I mean, you're in your own space. I'm in my own space. So it wasn't a surprise when I settled for him. And of course, with all his charms, what could I have done?
Share charms given back to back. However, there was something you said that I just want to, highlight on a little bit. I want you to highlight on a little bit. So don't you think in the case of your husband being someone who would respect your opinion and your decision, don't you think it's an individual thing? Do you think it's actually tribal related? Because I understand what you mean by when you come to the Igbo tribe, you have lots of people who would want to stamp their authority. But do you think it's actually a tribal thing as opposed to an individual thing? If you get my question.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have classmates from virtually all over Nigeria.
Okay.
And without an iota of doubt, I can tell you that the thinking of someone from the West is different from how we reason in the East. Somebody from the East doesn't take no for an answer. We don't give up easily. That's one trait I love about us. But then when it comes to stamping of authority, you're in a relationship with someone, and for all intent and purposes, we are equals. But somehow I noticed that friends that date Igbo men then always had issues around authority. It was a question of, I'm trying to sound polite, but to a very large extent, I think the environment plays a very major role. And then I'm very lucky. My own husband was trained in a very cosmopolitan home, so it also didn't, it just suits me perfectly.
We're going to circle back to that, because I think it's something that we need to put out there, something that we need to, pay attention to. We're going to circle right back to that. Now, first thing first, I'm so sorry that I jumped in on you with my questions without really welcoming you into the program. I was just really, really excited to hear, the two names, Nkwo and yeah, exactly. So, welcome once again to Serenity TV. Now, how long have you guys been married for?
I've been married for 17 years. This will make it the 18th year.
Ooh, that is such a long time. 17 years.
Some persons celebrating 60 years old.
Wow.
We're still upcoming.
That's fantastic. That's really nice. Really, really nice to hear. So, kids?
Yes, I have 3 amazing kids.
3. Wow. Well, first thing first, I want to say congratulations to the both of you. 17 years of marriage and still counting is something worth celebrating. And I'm sure that you guys are celebrating that in your very own way.
Yes.
That's good to know. So let's explore marriage. Marriage is something that lots of people do not want to get into right now. I can tell you that for free, that lots of young people are looking at marriage as a sort of bondage that they don't want to get into. And rightfully so, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Because you've heard lots of negative comments, lots of terrible happenings, lots of sad incidents, and it just makes you want to question the institution that God has sort of built. Is it worth it? Should I even get into it to start with? But you've been in marriage for 17 years. So tell us about marriage. How have you been?
Excuse me. First, I must, at this point, I must say many, many thanks to my husband. His name is Fred. I owe him the toga of still being married. Those in Nigerian parlance, they'll say some of us used to have coin. Yeah, so but he is the one that is stable, dependable, and if you come up with tantrums, it's just like your village people didn't see me today, and then he will just let that pass. So for me, marriage has been amazing. It's been beautiful. I don't have ugly stories to tell, fortunately, because beyond marrying a gentleman, I also made sure he's someone that has a fear of God and he respects his fellow humans. So there are things I know he would never do. Yeah, so that for me was the basis for settling down to step outside Igbo land. Marriage is also sweet. Sometimes there are days I wake up and I wish I was in my father's house. No, it doesn't have anything to do with it. It's just about, let me give you an instance. Recently, my classmates, we had to come together. Not too long ago, we celebrated 30 years of living secondary school. At that particular edition, I had told my husband I'd like to attend. I was to be in Lagos for a workshop, and everybody, guys that were abroad, people had started coming home so people were beginning to post that they are in town in Lagos, and just the day before the meeting, my husband called and said, "You won't go for that reunion." I'm like, "How? Why?" He said, "I withdraw permission." Ordinarily, something I should have ignored. That thing that will happen next year, like we say in Igbo parlance, let it happen. But I've also understood some things around principles. The moment he withdrew that permission, It was painful.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Lagos.
Yeah.
From where I was to where the reunion held, I don't think it would be close to 3,000 or 4,000 naira. But I didn't go. And for that one day, that morning I woke up and I felt, oh much. Maybe if I be single girl, no guy will say I withdraw.
Yeah.
So there are times I wake up really, and I wish I just like we say in Igbo language, and not do again. And it's normal. It's normal, especially when it comes to marriage and finances. You realize that you have to de-emphasize yourself for the comfort of your family. So I know it's common for ladies. You want to buy something for yourself, and then you say, "But if I add 10K now, I don't cook stew." So you just keep sacrificing, as it were, for the comfort of others. I'm sure if one of my children says, "Mommy, I need to get this," I would release it. Now, for me to use it on myself, and that's when I jokingly tell friends, my definition of marriage is glorified boy, whether you agree or not, either for the guy or for the babe. It's because you realize that you're not exactly living what you would want to do. I mean, I'd like to go to Cold Stone and just splurge on myself. 50K. I mean, organic. Yeah. But again, you also realize that you have to take some critical decisions for comfort, for security, and most times it's you take those decisions not with yourself in perspective. You take it for other persons. Yeah. And there are some of those days I wake up, I'm like, I wish. Yeah. I wish. Yeah. So yeah, marriage is beautiful, but of course there are days I wake up and I don't want to do it again.
But obviously those wishes cannot be traded for the beautiful memories and the beautiful things and people that you have around you.
Of course.
That's fantastic. All right. So one thing I also understand is that you seem to be running or practicing a long distance marriage. Now we talk about long distance relationship on the relationship perspective, on the romantic perspective, boy, girl, this person is outside the country, or maybe this person is in another state, the other person is in another state. And, we talk about it on the normal level, but nobody gets to emphasize on, long distance marriages and the toll it takes on, the parents with the children, or maybe the partner that is in another place. So you have experienced long distance marriage for 17 years.
And I love it. I love it.
We will talk about that because I hate long distance. I hate long distance relationship. I don't know how I can thrive with long distance relationship. And I'm sure there are lots of people out there who do not like long distance relationship as well. So I want to even explore why you love it.
Well, first of all, I love the fact that it gives me flexibility. Now, as a married woman, you need to, the closest I can explain this is to serve your husband properly. You serve, you need to be organizing breakfast, either lunch or dinner, but you have to do it as, serve the guy as the duke, like I always call my husband. Sincerely, I don't have that tolerance. I don't have that patience. Now, I'm a journalist. And sometimes news breaks out on the go. I could just be talking with you and someone just alerts me, "Madam, breaking, there's been an incident." And what it means is that I'm going to shut down, get information, run with that information to file that report. Now, and this is where sometimes I feel that it could also be an issue for maybe the high rate of separations going on. Because my husband, he comes home weekends. He comes in on Fridays and Monday morning, I'm waving to say, "Dear, the Lord bless your trip." It works for me. I could get home today and I'm like, "Guys, whoa, let's just drink bread and tea and go to bed." They are ecstatic. They are so happy with it. The spontaneity. I mean, I'm just too tired. I don't have that energy to cook. And of course, don't forget that I make my children cook in tons. But if it's mine, I'm like, Can we just do bread and tea? They don't have a problem with it. I don't think the average husband wants to do that every day. I mean, he comes back from after a hectic day, he wants to mbano. I don't think, much as everybody's understanding, I think in homes, dinner is expected to be the king's serving. So that saves me that stress. The part of, in Nigeria, we always say familiarity breeds content. There should be some sort of scarcity. And that's the part I love. I mean, by the time see finish wants to enter it, it's a Monday morning. You're on your way back to your state of work, and I'm back to my routine. If you understand what I mean. So somehow I feel, and I'm not exactly sure, but I have noticed that somehow it puts a strain on some persons. You do wife morning, do wife evening, do wife morning, do wife throughout the day. I mean, sometimes some guys, I see some persons post on social media, our wife should stop asking us what we want to eat. They should just think of something. Yeah, so it's a subtle pointer that for them is also monotonous. Come and ask me in the morning, dear, what will you eat? Evening, what will you eat? But I don't have those. I can get to my house. I decide I don't want to talk to anybody. I know they owe you. If you call on phone, of course, you probably don't know I have a mood swing at that period. But if it's in the same space, I feel that somehow there will just be some sort of, please, I want my space. And I think it also contributes to the level of separations we're having now, because the church, or better say all forms of religion, preaches that nothing should separate the couple, they should always stay together. And then we do not take cognizance of the fact that some persons are wired differently.
Of course. Somebody
like me, my husband jokingly says that if he stays in Owerri till 1 p.m. on a Monday morning, anything I do, he knows my tolerance shield is broken. I can't take it again, because I mean, it's obvious I'm always working. I'm trying to it's a habit. Every 15, 20 minutes, I have to check my gadgets just in case something has happened somewhere and it falls under my purview. Nobody takes excuses. So if you are talking to me as my husband, or better still, I'm in the kitchen, and every 20 minutes you notice I'm doing my iPad stuff, I'm sure the guy will say, Becky, I'm hungry. Can you put, because I have Mondays to Thursdays. So by Friday, I put on what I call my good girl behavior. So from Friday evening till Monday morning, I'm a perfect wife. Everywhere in the house is sparkling. But if you come to the house on Tuesday morning, it's possible there could be debris on the table. I could just ignore it and just go about my daily chores. But I know that by Thursday evening, everywhere has to be sparkling, because you could step in anytime on Friday morning. And so I love that part that, and then you also get the option of threatening the kids. You're like, dear, do this thing. Your dad is stepping
tell your
in.
Daddy.
Yes, Duke is stepping in later today. I don't want drama. And so everybody behaves themselves, puts on their good girl or good boy behavior. So for me, I'm a stickler for.
Amazing.
But of course, that doesn't mean I'll do 6 months marriage apart. It doesn't work for me. That's extreme. Okay. I remember that during COVID, and my husband was locked out of town for 5 weeks. I remember I called him and said, dear, if you don't come back to me, I will collect deputy husband for you. And we joked about it, but it also meant my tolerance shield. That was when I realized that much as I love long distance, I also had limits to what I could. Yes, a man comes in, he knows there are some things a man will definitely fix.
Handle.
So like for instance, the bulb in my room stopped working last week, during the week. I bought the bulb, kept it for him. He came and said, but you've always done this. I said, I've decided that 2026, I will play strictly Babe Ruth.
It's soft girl. Your soft girl era.
Exactly. That I'm still observing my New Year resolutions, exactly. And that part of it is I won't do any masculine chore.
Of course.
And it was like, for real? But he knows between us that's something he should do.
Yeah.
And of course, he helped me do it.
Amazing.
So for me, it's just okay. It's just okay.
All right. So even though you've scratched the surface, I still want to go in depth because one thing you mentioned is that, and I agree completely, is the fact that it's not everybody that would want a long distance relationship. It's not everybody that would want space. We're all wired differently. I, for one, in as much as I respect having space and having your own time to be you and to do you, I wouldn't want to have my husband in another state or in another country. It's something that I could sacrifice for, say, maybe 6 months or maybe 1 year, but it's not going to exceed that. We'll have to look for ways to bridge that gap. However, let me also ask, because I'm sure you do have some low moments. I'm going to say the cons of being in a long distance marriage. You've talked about the pros and how it sort of, benefits you, but I want us to talk about how it does not benefit you, like something that you've wished for.
Well, sometimes, we live in Nigeria, we live in Owerri. Sometimes your vehicle decides to have a mind of its own and then it acts up. I jokingly tease myself that I do not have the luxury of saying, let me park it. My husband will come and take the car. I don't have that luxury, which explains why I probably know some certain things that affecting the vehicle, because I definitely chose, or rather I prefer long distance marriage. So for me, that's one of the lows. When we have to do the mechanic runs, those years that my children were much, much younger, my youngest is in JS2 presently. When my children were much younger and then I had to do school runs, what it also meant was that wherever I was, once it was around 3:30, 4 o'clock, you just lose concentration. It means take the children from school. I recollect there was a politician that the office directed that we should go cover the airport reception when he landed at the airport. For some strange reasons, that flight was delayed. And then the vehicles that came to the airport that day was something else. I got to my children's school sometime around past 7. Ouch. I wept my eyes out. I was so emotional. I couldn't relate. I mean, this has nothing to do with me. It wasn't as if I did. It was someone else's timetable that had eaten into. And so I felt so guilty. So guilty. I remember the gate man was like, "Oh, madam, I know this hasn't happened before. I'm not taking offense. Don't worry." But I kept apologizing to my children. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. So for me, those are some of the lows. A child is sick and then maybe needs attention. It revolves around you. I've also noticed that weekdays, I sleep minimally. If early little sound, I'm up.
Yeah,
because I need to keep watch and be sure that one of my children, I don't have sleepwalking issues, but for any strange reason, once I hear any door open, my eyes are open and then I'm out. What is it?
Yeah.
But I also know that weekends when my husband is around, I sleep better.
Yeah.
I sleep very well, and my children sometimes tease me. The way you sleep weekends and the way you sleep weekdays, there is no correlation.
Yeah.
But I think it's a wiring in the head. I just know that I need to play the man and woman's role. Then some other times, maybe you get into a fight with someone. Sometimes you just have one neighbor that feels their own scoring is more than your own. And so it's happened before. Someone beat my child. And so I got offended. Why would you do that? Yeah. Especially since your fight wasn't with my child. It was with someone else. But you just felt that because you wanted to drag me to that fight. And so I recollect I had to bring the police to take the lady, and then we kept her for a few hours to answer questions at the station. My husband kept calling to beg me to let go. But now, as Nigeria wanted the carry last, I didn't take those calls. He called practically everybody that he knew I respect. Everybody was calling, but I just didn't take the call. So for me, those are some of the lows. When the child is sick, you didn't sleep all through the night, and then you have to. Sometimes you have emotional needs. You feel like you want to talk. Unfortunately, he isn't there. Phone isn't the same thing with physical presence. That's a major plus. That's a major issue one must acknowledge.
Yeah.
It's not always the same. Sometimes you had a low day. You just want someone a hug or something. Unfortunately, I just have to endure until he comes. And it's possible that by the time he comes, my wiring may have just switched to the tough part. So yes, it has its cons, but I think the pros outweigh it for me. I just love my own arrangement because I never can tell.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, rightly so. What works for this person might not work for the other person. And that's okay. Totally fine. If you're out there and you have a problem with long distance relationship, maybe you've tried it. Because something I always tell people is that you've not tried it. You should not condemn it. I've not tried long distance relationship until recently. And I can tell that, oh, Faith, you were right. It's not for you. So you have to try it. And if it doesn't work, then you know. It's okay. It's totally fine. You're definitely going to meet a partner who would not like it as well. And the both of you can bond. But one of the mistakes people make is to stay in something that they do not like just because they love the person. It's relationships are usually more than the love you feel for this person. It usually takes sacrifices, right? Are you willing to sacrifice this for this person? If you cannot compromise, then you shouldn't get through with it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Angela.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, such a pleasure. Sure. I'm gonna have you give a final word to young people. You know, we're dealing with a pandemic of very young persons who are beginning to throw marriage out of, the window. You're no longer interested. And like I said earlier, rightfully so. And it's a problem. It's really, really a problem. We cannot count a good number of successful marriages. You even have the one that you're looking up to and you're like, oh, these people are good together. These people should be a role model. And all of a sudden tomorrow you're hearing really terrible things about it. So I think that is where the caveat usually comes in for lots of people. So I want you to say something to young people. Those looking to get married, those who are saying they don't want to get married, what will be your final words to them?
On the show, my final words to them. Well, all I can say is, first of all, my pastor would always say, you close one eye in prayer, then open the other one and watch, and look, so you don't go home with a beast. I acknowledge the fact that it's tough being single now. A whole lot of people want space. A whole lot of people are scared of the dynamics. But I think it's one risk one should take. In my first year of marriage, it was a bit turbulent for me because we were based in Owerri together. But on my part, it just took a very simple prayer. Lord, I want to stay married. I don't know what you do, but just intervene. And within 2 weeks, it was transferred. And it's remained that way. Every time he's transferred to Owerri, I just go back to my closet. I say, Oluwa, you know this thing. And then within 24 hours, it's always reversed. He believes I'm doing something extraordinary, but I guess it's just the Lord's special intervention. Most importantly, we need to see things from the other person's perspective. Let's learn to make excuses for the other person, but not when it comes to violence. What you would not tolerate, what you would not stand, don't pretend to tolerate it. It's very important. I think that's some of the issues some persons have when they finally settle down. Again, we must also understand that before marriage, you were two individuals. I have my own personality. You have your own personality. I'm on the outgoing side. My husband is on the withdrawn side. You don't get married and then suddenly you want the other person to conform to the other person's mood. These are part of the issues. And I think that's one of the issues. A whole lot of men want to stamp authority. No, I'm not against them, but to a large extent. So it's important you respect the other person's perspective. If your wife is on the playful, outgoing side, let her. It doesn't have to always be, you have to change your SIM card, you have to change your phone, you have to change your friends. Take it easy now. It were those friends that wired how he or she reasons. that drew your attention. So why would you suddenly want to change that orientation? But whatever you do, choose you. Choose what works for you.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that advice. It was so in-depth, really, really apt. I totally pick one or two things from that. And I would like to believe that you also did. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you share this video after subscribing. Make sure you tell someone to tell someone to tell someone to go and subscribe. We appreciate you. And until we come your way next time, bye.